My name is Andrea Kemsley, and I'm the Marketing Manager at Adobe distributor DAX Data. We are hosting this event in partnership with Ha-Shem, where we will show you how easy it is to streamline and accelerate document processes with Adobe Acrobat. Please feel free to type your questions into the chat pod on your right, and Carla Rolfe will answer them in the Q&A session at the end. This session will be recorded, and a copy of the presentation and recording will be shared with all the people who registered. I will now hand you over to Queen Odili, Content Marketing Specialist at Ha-Shem, for a brief introduction. After which, Carl Rolfe, Specialist Product Consultant, will begin the presentation and demonstration. Thank you, Queen.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Just give me a few minutes, seconds to share my screen. Thank you. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We have finally arrived at the long-awaited time for the Acrobat AI webinar. Who's excited? Well, I am most definitely. So we would like to appreciate each and every person on this call. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join this session. We would like to assure you that the next 1 hour will be worth your time, and I can guarantee you will get valuable insight on how Acrobat AI Assistant will help drive your business or your organization's goals. So before we get into it, I'd like to introduce myself. As Andrea has already, my name is Queen Odili. I am your host and a content marketing specialist at Ha-Shem Limited. So what do we do at Ha-Shem Limited? You might ask that question. You might have that yourself that question. And well, what we do is that we specialize in providing the highest quality and most innovative IT service and solutions across Africa. Now, I am sure you want to know who your speaker for today is. I'm very sure you want to know who your speaker for today is, and we have Kala Raf, who is a seasoned software specialist at Adobe Incorporated. She has served as a digital media solutions consultant at Adobe System for almost 10 years. That is actually quite remarkable, if I might say, and she'll be taking us on the very exciting topic, which we have been anticipating, the Acrobat AI Premium Insight, enhancing your document experience. So without further ado, I'll be handing over to Carla to take us on the long awaited journey. So as Andrea said earlier, if you have any questions, you can type them out on the chat box and it will be answered after the presentation. So why don't we just grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy the session. Carla, over to you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Queen and Andrea. I'm just sharing my screen on my side. And if you could just give me an idea of whether you can see it or not.
I can see it. Thanks, Carla.
I can see your screen. Thank you.
Perfect. Right. So I thought I would start with the agenda so that you have an idea of what I'm going to be covering today. So we're going to be talking about Adobe's new AI assistant that plugs into Adobe Acrobat. We're going to talk about how it can assist you. What are the benefits of these generative AI features that are now available to you? We're going to be looking at some use case prompts, because usually that is one of the main things that people have the challenge with, is how do they prompt the AI. So it's not about the AI taking over your position, but working hand in hand with it as a tool that you can use. Then we're also going to be looking at what is the difference between Adobe's AI Assistant and Adobe's other AI tool called Adobe Firefly. So we're just going to touch very highly on what the differences are there. And then a question we get asked all the time is, what's the difference between Adobe AI Assistant and Microsoft Copilot? Sorry. We're also going to be looking at the file considerations that you need. So what kind of documents can this AI assistant work with? We're going to be looking at some security and putting some of your security concerns at ease. We're going to be looking at how you can acquire this Adobe AI assistant. And of course, before that, we're going to be going through an actual product demonstration where you can actually have a look and see exactly how it works. So the Adobe AI Assistant is what we call a generative AI tool. This means that it understands the document and the data that you are providing for it to analyze. Right? What is great about it, it is a conversational interface that allows you to interact with the PDF documents by not only you asking it questions, but it can also prompt questions that you can ask based on the type of document that you have uploaded. So let's have a look at how this can assist you. So if anybody wants to just put their hand up in the chat pod, I am sure most of us spend a large amount of our day having to read through content. And sometimes that content is across multiple documents. And if you're working with contracts, sometimes you need to be able to put it into layman's terms so that you can understand exactly what is happening there. So AI Assistant helps with that. Now, it comes with two main functionalities. The first functionality is what we call generative summary. So what this does is it will actually look at the document that you have uploaded, and it will summarize it into key points, and it will summarize it according to the sections of the document. Now, AI Assistant is also available for the free reader, but on the free reader on your mobile phone, it does not have this generative summary functionality. It only has the next one, which is the actual AI assistant that is available. And if you are using it on your mobile device, you don't have to do the typing all the time. You can actually use voice prompts on the reader on your mobile phone. So the AI assistant, as I mentioned to you, it will look at the document or documents that you upload to it, and it will make suggestions or questions based on the type of document. It can also export the content out as data tables, as lists and that kind of thing. An easy ability to be able to copy and paste it. And what is really good about it is it doesn't just hallucinate and thumbsuck and decide what it thinks the information should be about. It actually cites different parts of the document, showing you exactly where it pulled that information from. Right. If we look at what are the benefits of this, all right. So first of all, it can improve your comprehension. So if you've got really complex PDF documents, it can provide insights and context around the content that you have provided to it. It can enhance your productivity because it even supports VTT files, which are your transcript files. You can upload a transcript from a meeting and say to it, okay, what are the 5 most important things about that happened in this meeting, and it will tell you about it. And you could say, all right, what are the action items that I need to do or that my team needs to do, and it will be able to pull that information out there for you. Right. It also has an impact on the content that you provided. So it can make suggestions. So let's say, for example, you're looking at all the trends that are happening in the market or in the industry at the moment, and you've got multiple documents. It can then consolidate across those documents and be able to write a email to your boss about the trends that are happening. Your boss is not going to be able to want a very long email, but it can give you a nice short email. Or you can ask it, all right, based on this content, I have to do a presentation for a customer. Can you take this information and summarize it into 3 short slides? It can do things like I mentioned, meeting notes and that kind of stuff. You can even highlight a portion of text and ask it questions just about that portion of text that you have selected. And you can select up to about 8,000 words, right? And then, of course, it's got this writing assistant, and I'll show you some summaries of these, but it's this ability to be able to, let's say you've got a report and you could say, please, could you reword this to a different target market or target audience, and it will do so. Now, the FIFA report, which is a international report that is available, they said that the AI assistant can speed up time for your core knowledge worker. Basically, by this, it can concisely and quickly generate summaries, right? It can recommend the structure and outlines of a document. It can accelerate your document's analysis and extract crucial information. And this is vitally important in saving time. And not only does it do it in one document, but you can do it across multiple documents. And if you have decided that you need the information, let's say from a Word document and an Excel document, you can upload those into Acrobat and it will convert them to PDF. Right. It also can make suggestions on the structuring of the document. It can either generate full-length text, or you can state it, you know what, I need this in only 3 sentences. So which departments or areas within your business can benefit from using the AI assistant? So if we look at the sales team, right, they can go and pull a whole lot of information about brand new customers and come up with proposals and suggestions on the customer. Finance can analyze financial statements and reports. Research and development, they can synthesize the insights in these technical white papers, fast tracking product innovation. Marketing and PR, they can accelerate the comprehension of a product or a service that you're doing by assisting with generating blogs and pitch decks and white papers and those kind of things, even scripts for video content. Legal department can promptly assess the impact of new regulations, review contracts faster, and then of course human resources could use it. For example, let's say you've got a job application that you're putting out there, and you have certain job roles that the candidate needs to be able to do in their everyday working environment. And let's say, for example, you've got 5 candidates. You can upload the job description with the job roles and the 5 candidates' documents into Acrobat, and then you can say to it, okay, based on the information that I've provided to you, which candidate would be the most likely, the best candidate for the role provided, and it can then go and sift through the CV information that it has provided for you. Right, so based on the information that I have shared with you, I'm going to ask you a question, and if you would like to participate and write the answers in the chat pod, that would be amazing. Right, so Andrea, if you could post the first question, please.
It's up, Carla. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'll just read the question out. It says, what is one of the key benefits of the generative AI features in Acrobat and Acrobat Reader? A, is it to improve document security? B, is it to enhance your productivity? C, is it to increase your file storage? Or D, is it for better color management? So Andrea, as soon as everybody has finished doing the poll question, I will then provide the answer.
It looks like everyone's finished, Carla.
Thank you. Right, so the correct question was to enhance your productivity. That was easy, right? So now let's have a look at the file considerations that we need when we upload these documents into Acrobat, right? So it supports these main languages: English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. You can upload up to 10 documents, all right? The file size should not be more than 100 megabytes in size, and it should be fewer than 600 pages. It will not work with documents that are password protected. And if you are familiar with Acrobat, it does not read PDF portfolios. And the current restriction is the highlighting. If you're going to do highlighting of text, let's say in a legal contract, you can highlight up to 8,000 characters, and it mustn't span more than span multiple pages. So let's go and see how we can use the prompts. So for example, here are some use cases where you can actually ask questions in an asking manner. All right. So, and these can be, for example, what are the pain points that customers are having with this particular solution, and how can we address it? Right? Or you could say something like, if you're in researchers, did the researchers include any disclaimers in the following report? Could you create a 200-word summary of this particular document, and don't use industry jargon, because maybe you're trying to get new customers and they don't actually understand some of the jargon that is out there. All right. You could also ask it to does the user manual include any safety information? You know, if you're in the manufacturing of food, you know, what perishable ingredients. There are so many that you could use from an asking perspective. You can also look at it from an analysis perspective, right? And here in this presentation will be made available to you, so you can try some of these. But like from an analysis position, you could say things like, how could I position this presentations to the management instead of the employees? Or something like, how can I improve this copy in this particular section? You could also say, of the steps outlined, which is the one that's going to be the most challenging to perform? There are other ones like, what are the risks and benefits by applying the proposed strategy? So can you see there is a number of different ways that you can prompt your questions, and it's important that your questions that you prompt are clear and concise, that you give it some description about what it is that you want the outcome to be in line with. So for example, I'm putting a course together, and I wanted to have a specific kind of course outline, and I also wanted from those particular topics some slides that could be created. So the idea was to say, I'm holding course ABC, this is my target audience, and I would like to get and then just name the important facts about that you want to be able to get across. So those are some things that you can do from that perspective. If you're looking at from a brainstorming perspective, you could say, all right, if I were this, or if you were the CEO of a business, what are the 3 questions you would want to have answered, or questions you would ask about this particular report? Give me some ideas to mitigate any drawbacks from this. What are the 10 blog post topics that you could use? If you're putting let's say you're putting some content on your social media, you could say, all right, what search engine optimization terms could I use to assist my clients in finding this on the website? So you can see it's got a whole lot of options that are available. You could even ask it, can you provide me with a 3-minute script on the topic? And the topic could be whatever your document is that you have uploaded, in order to create a video on the topic. Right, you can use it for generating. So you could write an email to the members of my team explaining why they should use the tips in this guide, or create a 20 to 25 word messaging block. Here's the one about the video so can you see there are so many different ways that you could use it. You could even go as far as, if you have written the report, you could even go up and say, all right, highlight the section and say, how can I rewrite this so that it means the same thing, but that it sounds better? Or what is a simpler way of writing this? How do I make my introduction less wordy? There are so many different ways that you could use this. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is, what is the difference between Adobe AI Assistant and Adobe Firefly? So if any of you are in the creative space and you are using the Creative Cloud products, you will most probably have heard of Adobe's Firefly. And Adobe Firefly is a text to image model that is part of the Creative Cloud. It is a browser-based solution, but it is also integrated into the various Adobe products like Photoshop and Illustrator for Vector, into Premiere Pro, and there are just so many options that are available. You can even use it in the likes of the new Adobe Express and Adobe Stock if you're looking for micro stock. And basically what it is, this is just a screenshot of its browser-based screen. You can see you've got text to image, you've got things like text to video. The third one there, you can go and put 3D shapes on a scene, and you can ask it how you want it to be described and what it should create. It can do video translations. It can take an image and make a video of that. It can translate your audio. So there are so many little things that it can do. So it is not about analyzing a document, but more about creating content to be able to use them in your documents. Right, so Andrea, if you could put the next question up for us, please. And the next question is, what is the difference between Adobe's AI Assistant and Adobe Firefly? The AI Assistant generates high-quality images from text descriptions. Firefly is a collection of generative AI tools that help users create content. AI Assistant is available as a standalone website. Or D, Firefly specializes in handling PDF documents. Andrea, just let me know when you think everybody has answered it.
I think we've got some answers in, Carla. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So the correct answer is Firefly is a collection of generative AI tools that help users create content. Now, a question that I get asked almost at every single AI assistant meeting that I talk about is, what is the difference between AI assistant and Microsoft Copilot? So you have to understand that Microsoft Copilot focuses generally on the Microsoft ecosystem within your organization. So it is going to search for information in your emails, in your team chats and meetings, in the documents that you may have stored in OneDrive and SharePoint, any other connected apps that you have associated with it. And in order for this to work properly, IT normally have to put different rules of engagement in place so that you don't have some new staff that have just joined your staff finding out what the CEO's salaries are, or having access to parts of the organization that they are not intended to have. So therefore, there are rules that need to be put in place, and those rules also need to be updated as and when things change within the organization, right? So IT has a bigger role in trying to manage that at all times. AI Assistant does not compete with Microsoft Copilot. A lot of organizations out there don't have Copilot integrated into their ecosystem yet. So Adobe AI Assistant is a nice way to start using an AI to get information about the documents that you are providing it. And what makes it different is that it works with PDF documents, and only the PDF documents, and you'll see this when I do my demonstration just now, only the PDF documents that you give it. And it is not taking this information and sharing it outside of your organization. Everything is sandboxed, and I'm going to talk about that in the next slide. So Acrobat Assistant is excellent for summarizing content, analyzing text, and extracting key information from the particular documents, so they can work symbiotically together and not compete against each other. All right, Andrea, just one more, the next question, please. If you could put the poll up for that. It says, how does AI Assistant differ from Microsoft Copilot? A, it focuses on general productivity across the entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem. It stores customer prompts and responses in the cloud. It is available only for emails and team chats, or it specializes in handling PDF documents. So while you're busy answering that, the next slide I'm going to be talking about is the security, and then I will go into the demonstration and actually show you how this works. Right, so Andrea, have the people completed the questions?
Yes, it looks like it, Carla.
Right, so the correct answer will be D, specializes in handling PDF documents. So now let's talk about security. So you will have heard me mention this a few times. It only works with the content that you provide it during the session that you're working with it. All right. All the prompts and the responses to the prompts are encrypted. Right, and this encryption is both in transit to the generative AI service and at rest, and it is stored locally on your machine if you are using the desktop version of the application Acrobat. If you are using the browser-based one, or if you're using it on your mobile device, it will then store it in your Creative Cloud profile. So nobody else will have access to it. Right? And then most importantly, it does not teach other third-party large language models. So it is not pushing this information out of your organization to any other kind of AI that it is. It is sandboxed within your environment, right? And the generative AI service is cached every 12 hours. And of course, your chat history, you can go and change the or clear that cache at any particular point in time. So if I show you here, you can see in the preferences in Acrobat, you have this ability to go and clear the cache information. So let me quickly just show you here. If you're on a mobile device, and you open a PDF document, you will see here that it gives you the ability to access the AI assistant. You will then agree to the terms of use, and then you can either ask the questions via text or via a voice prompt, and it will give the information back to you with cited references that it has taken from your document. Right, so let me go out of here now and let me show you how it's going to work. Right, so here I am in Acrobat in Windows. You can access this from coming to the See All tools. Right, that's one way of accessing it. You can also access it here at the top, where you can upload PDFs, PowerPoint documents, and rich text documents for analysis. Right, if you go to All Tools, you will see here that you have your AI assistant and your generative summary. If you are not seeing this, there could be a number of reasons. Either you have not accessed the add-on, and I'll talk about different ways to license that in a moment. That's one option. The second option is you do not have a subscription to Acrobat, so you do need to have a subscribed version of Acrobat, and you do need to be online so that it can access the Adobe AI generative service that is available. If you are not sure on the version, you could always come in here, and under help, you can always check if you've got any updates that require you being installed. Right, so I'm going to just go to my home screen here, and I've got a particular document that is available. This is a 7-page document, and I could come here to this little icon over here. That would be my generative summary. I can also access them here, my AI assistant, so I can access it here and access my AI assistant here. So first off, I'm going to do a generative summary. This will be a summary of this particular document that you are using. And of course, you can go in and say, get started, and it will then go and generate per section a summary of this document for you. Just give it a moment. My internet connection is just a little bit slower because I'm working on Windows on my Mac device. So just bear with me a moment. Okay, there we go. All right, so here you can see it has gone and summarized my particular document, and wherever I click, it is then taking me to the exact points within my document where those citations have been made from. All right, I have an ability to copy these and then go and paste it in an email if I need to. Right. What I could also go and do is I could come into my AI Assistant. So let me click on the AI Assistant here at the top. And right now it is trying to understand the type of document that I have uploaded. If I have uploaded a financial statement, it's going to prompt you with questions based on a financial statement. If it's a research document, it is going to do the same. Now, I don't have to do these document by document. I can come here at the top and I can go and add an additional document. So let's go in here and let's go and add a market research document to this as well. So it's just trying to understand this particular document at the same time. And when it cites the document, you will actually be able to see a thumbnail of the document. All right. So now what I could come and say here, so it's told me here that there is an added document. So I could say, what are the trends? Right? This is a very vague question. I haven't been a little bit specific about anything, but you can come and see here that it is now generating some information. And depending on what I click on, I can see that was from my first document. That's also from my first document. And let me just see if it's got some more. There we go. You can now see it starting to get things from the second document as well. All right. You can see here it can also prompt you for some documents. So I could say, what are the key demographics? And I could pull some information on here. And you can now see that it is giving me some information based on this. So these were pretty easy. They were two really small documents that I could go and use. But what happens if I want to have some information about documents that are a number of pages, like hundreds of pages? So let me select a file here. I'm going to go in this one. I'm going to use this document. I've just chosen a book here because it's got a lot of pages. It's 100 pages that are here. So if any of you are in the education sector, or let's just say this is a white paper about the upcoming trends related to something specific, you could come in here and say, all right, based on, because this book has got chapters, I'm just going to do this, generate 3 slides on the content of this book for a presentation to new people reading this type of book. So you can see here now, it has given you the first slide. It has given you all the information that you can put on that slide. It is now provided the second slide, telling you a little bit about the themes and the characters. And then the third slide, a little bit about the plot and whatever it is. Right? I could take a step further and say, write a script for a 3-minute video introducing this book to my target audience. Well, let's put there to teenage readers. right? Sorry. So you can see, there's so much that you can ask this, and you can then see it is now writing this 3-minute script for your video. Right. If I just go to a particular page, remember I said to you that you could select any bit of information. So I could go and select, remember it can be up to 8,000 characters, and I could then click this option here that says ask the AI assistant. So if it is a contract, you could then select it and then go to the AI assistant and say, kindly explain this in easier terms to understand. You can ask things like output into a table. Maybe it's some financial reports, the differences between the last 3 financial years relating to profit or whatever it is. So I'm just going to put here output into a table, the characters and their roles. So you can see there's so much that you can do with this. And of course, it's really easy to copy and paste it from here into an email, into your Word, or wherever it is, PowerPoint, or wherever it is that you want to put it. Right. And then last but not least, let's just go into here. How do you license the Adobe AI Assistant? Right. So if you have got Creative Cloud in your organization, because those users will also have access to Adobe Acrobat, they can acquire the add-on. So this add-on gives them up to 1,000 queries per month per user, and it's available for the Teams environment for that. If you have got users that are just on the free Adobe Reader, they can also acquire this particular add-on. But as of a month ago, Adobe announced a brand new product called Adobe Acrobat Premium. And what Adobe Acrobat Premium is, it is this Adobe Acrobat Pro plus the AI Assistant included in one particular SKU. And this is available to both enterprise and team customers, right? And now that it is available, you can either purchase Premium as a separate product and add it to your administrative console, or you can wait until it's time to renew your Acrobat licenses, and then you can upgrade from Acrobat Standard or Acrobat Professional to the Premium version. If you don't want to take the Premium, you can still have it as a separate add-on for Acrobat Professional or Acrobat Standard. Right, so before I find out if there are any questions here, I just have added in this presentation some resources that are available to you that you can refer back to at any time. And then if you have any questions, you can reach out to the Ha-Shem team at marketing@hashem.com, and they will be able to arrange some demonstrations for you, some licensing options, and all of that. So let me go out of here and let me see if there are any questions that are in the chat pod that need answering. I just want to see. please feel free to ask whatever questions you would like to now. I'll give it a moment or two more. Okay, so I don't see any questions. Somebody does have their hand up. I'm not too sure if they've got access to speaker. Otherwise, you can just type it in the chat pod. I see it's Adamu. And like it was mentioned, this recording and the presentations will be made available to you. And if you do have a version of Acrobat, normally what will happen is if you go into the AI Assistant, it will give you 5 tries. So you do have that little ability just to try those 5 tries and see if it will work with you. Right. So from that side, I'd like to thank all of you. And I'm going to hand back over to you, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Carla. Queen, can you please close the session for us? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining and staying with us till the end of the session. I hope you enjoyed the session and you got a lot of insight. Okay, we have a question. Oh, please, can I access and use this application for free?
So, as I mentioned, if you go into your Adobe Acrobat or the free reader and you go into the assistant, you will see there is that opportunity for you to have 5 tries, and that will give you the ability to then try it out. So you can try either but it's not 5 every month. It's just 5 individual things that you could try it out with, and then you can license it. So even if you're using the free reader and it is a tool that you feel that you can find value in, you can license it as an add-on for the free reader as well. Actually, Andrea, can you just share this? Let me share my screen again, please, just for a moment. Thank you. Sorry about this. Thank you. Let me just go back a step here. Okay, so if you are in the Acrobat, and this is in the free reader, you will see that when you click on the AI Assistant, it will then welcome you. Sorry, I think it's jumped. And it will give you this option here to say, get started. And then it will ask you for your email address. And then once you've put your email address in, it will then start analyzing your documents. And then you can start having the questions. So that would be with the AI Assistant, but it's in this particular panel that you can then have access to that. My credits are up in my other account. Let me just see if I can find a document that we could access here quickly. Let's use one of these. Right, so if I click on my AI Assistant, because I'm not logged in under the same account, it will tell me that my tries have been given up. But normally it will give you like a little counter here at the top to tell you how many you've got available left. See, here you go. You can see I have no more requests remaining. So I would reach out to DAX Data in order to get those. And when you acquire the license, those AI assistants will appear in your administrative console. And then you can, as an administrator, you can then allocate them to only the users that need to have access to that particular add-on. So as IT, you can control it in that way as well. Okay. Okay, so with the university scholar, I would recommend that you reach out to Oluwasian and Queen and the team and that. And just remember that you could also use it for your to generate summaries and study guides and those kind of things. So it's quite useful in the education sector as well. Right, I'll hand back over to you, Queen.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for this session. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying with us to the end of the session. And as I said earlier, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, you want to reach out to us at the chat box. We already sent the marketing email. You can use to reach out to us for a free demo, or if you want to get more info on the AI assistant for Adobe Acrobat AI. So sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. Kindly give me some few seconds. Thank you. So can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So before we move on, I'd just like to give you some few insights on Ha-Shem Limited, more insight on Ha-Shem Limited. So for Ha-Shem Limited, we have a subsidiary named Ha-Shem Academy, and it's a learning institute in partnership with different professional industries, giving you IT trainings, and also if you want trainings in the non-tech fields, we also ensure your certifications in other industries. And as you can see, to reach out to us, you can send an email to training@hashem.com. And also we have a podcast, Tech Blazers podcast. You can follow us. This is where we make tech discussions fun and relatable to you in the way that is easy for you to understand, even the layman that is not in the tech industry or people that are not into tech. Here at with Tech Blazers podcast, we make tech easy and relatable to everyone. So you can follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And also you can send an email to us at marketing@hashem.com. The phone number is on the screen, 081347118333. And you can check our website if you have any more, if you have info, or if you have details you want to check out about us, our product, our services, or you want to know more about us. You can check our website at www.hashem.com. And if you want to visit us at our site on site, you can find your way to 9 Ibikunle Street at Habat Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. And for our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, yes, LinkedIn, you can also check us out at Ha-Shem Limited. So thank you everyone for this session. As I've said earlier, we appreciate your time. We really appreciate the time you have given us to join this webinar. I think that was all from my end, Andrea.
Thank you, Carla, for that very informative and engaging presentation and demonstration. Thank you, Queen and the Ha-Shem team, for giving us the opportunity to host this webinar with you. And finally, a big thank you to all our guests for joining us today. We hope you found it useful and you feel confident to tackle your task list with Adobe Acrobat. Thank you and enjoy your afternoon, everyone. Goodbye.
Andrea,
Thank
before
you.
you just
Goodbye.
switch
Okay.
off, I was trying to answer the one question there. There was a question, is can the AI Assistant be used as an add-on for the web browser? So no, not for your normal web browser, but if you are using Acrobat in the web, so it's acrobat.adobe.com. It is available in there, but not just generally in Google or Safari or Edge or one of those. Okay, so just wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carla. All right, I think that's it for our webinar today. I will close, but if anyone has questions, please contact the Ha-Shem team. Thank you so much.